Our first speaker today is Dr. Angel Diaz. He is the Vice President of Technology, Capabilities, and Innovation at Discover Financial Services. So Discover is really more of a financial services company than what you might think of as a tech company, but it turns out technology is pretty important in financial services these days. Dr. Diaz has been a thought leader in open source and connecting developers through code, content, and community. And today he's going to discuss how companies are using open source to drive modernization across the enterprise and power digital transformation at scale. Please welcome Dr. Angel Diaz.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? All right. Well, look, thank you for allowing me to share in the sunshine, good vibes, amazing views here in Vancouver. Oh, my gosh. And spend a little time with you all today. My name is Angel Diaz, and hello for all those of you watching virtually and those who are watching from Puerto Rico. Hola. All right, I said that. All right. And as Jim said, I help lead our engineering teams and innovation teams here at Discover, but I am also a very proud and longtime member of the open source community. And at Discover, we are obsessed. We wake up every morning thinking about how we can help people spend smarter, manage debt better, save more so we can all achieve a brighter financial future. That sounds pretty good. How do you do that? It's a lot of technology, right? It's about our people, our processes, and our technology. It's about understanding the ever-changing kind of ecosystem that we all live in, right? So we can better accomplish these tasks. And a lot of folks call that becoming digital. Who of you all here work in a large company? Just kind of raise your hand. So I'm sure you've heard those words, oh, we were becoming digital, right? A lot of investment in that. A lot of reasons for doing that. You want to create more opportunity. You're worried about things that are happening around you. And digital is like a big word, so I'll try to unpack that in a second, okay? But we're all kind of at different steps in this journey. What I'd like to share with you all in the next couple of minutes is our approach. How are we doing this in Discover? So when you look to your left and right, and my gosh, there's so many people I haven't seen in years. Nice to see you, Phil. It's unbelievable to be here again in person. You look to your left and right. Who are we? We're developers. We're technologists, community members, community leaders. We care about creating sustainable ecosystems. We're focused on not just code, but how we code. The how is just as important as the what, our contributions in our community. So we've taken those principles in addition to code, and we'll talk about that, and we've applied that. So I think of it like an equation. I have a background in computers. F of code, contribution, and community applied to people. How do we get better every day? Apply that function to our processes, a common way of working. Our technology, becoming more platform-centric, ultimately building our craft and improving our culture. So digital, what does that mean? Okay, I'm going to give you Angel's definition of digital. Look, we all live in a fluid kind of ecosystem. You wake up in the morning, you might be in Vancouver one day, you might be in Miami the next day. That's a journey. Well, I think Lisa's out here. Using open source principles within Discover, we defined a methodology across all of our service lines of how we empathize, create those user journeys, and drive those into requirements. Doing community contributions has resulted in about 100 or so practice methodology. Then we translate that into how we're organized. Now, a lot of you are probably completed or in the middle of your journey becoming more product-centric, right? Moving from feature factories to product teams. Some folks are starting, some folks are done. Some folks are kind of third or fourth iteration on this process. How we do our product development lifecycle. How we write a user story. How do we do what ways do we want to branch our code? How do we monitor an endpoint? All of those standards and processes we have defined together as a community and acted on those as a community. As we become more platform-centric, right? Building common platforms, looking at the code that we need to build and saying, Should I reuse something that's out there before I build it? And how do I make that more reusable within the organization? So for us, digital is about tying those three elements. It's about tying how we experience, how we organize, and how we technology together. We succeed together at Discover, so let's take a minute to hear from some of our engineers talking about exactly this.
And the reason I chose Discover was it gave me an opportunity to try something new, to innovate, and I'm staying here because the people, the culture is second to none, and I think we have an opportunity here to build something that's unique and amazing.
There's a really strong inner source community that's growing within Discover to help engineering teams across different areas contribute to the greater good for all the engineering community.
The one thing that I love about Discover is the fact that I can obviously be myself at all times. People get to show who they are, and there's never a judgment. There's never people think this is cool. I get to be myself every day I go to work. I don't feel like I can't represent myself.
We use an open source approach known as inner sourcing to build out an enterprise approved pipeline solution for CI/CD known as Trident. I love that I'm able to share my craft and level up through the Discover Technology Academy.
There's so much room for innovation. I know everyone thinks we're a bank, we're credit cards, but we are a technology company. They want us to be creative, use new things, look out in those open source communities. What can we pull in? What is the industry doing? It makes my job really exciting and awesome. I love it.
Oh, well, most of the folks in that video are actually here today. So you can go reach out to Manny or to Megan. I think Kate might be here. So how do we make this real? It sounds fantastic, right? Well, a lot of hard work. So what we did is we extended some open source technology built on GitHub, what we call our Discover Technology Academy. It's about 10,000 or so active users at any given moment. They've contributed thousands of articles, blogs, videos, tutorials. All of that content comes together. We have over 200 guilds. Those guilds use inner open source practices to define how we build our products, how we transform, how we're becoming a digital organization. And then, of course, how do people experience that? Well, we've got a lot of fun events like you probably do. You have hackathons and workshops and master classes and so forth. And we even have a dedicated dojo team that pairs up, and works with teams to improve. And also take those learnings back into the actual system itself. So sharing, succeeding together, getting better every day is in our DNA. And that's fantastic. But what's better than sharing as a small family? It's sharing with a bigger family, right? With more. So recently, we kind of organized a little bit more, and we put up an experience called technology.discover.com. Think of it like a super subset, it's like really subset of our Discover Technology Academy. So if you guys happen to have the phones, it's okay. Just go to technology.discover.com. You can find our people, our blogs, some of our code patterns, et cetera, and start to experience that vibe. So now, let me transition for a moment, because I'd like to walk you through a day in the life of someone who actually works in this system. Take our friend Kate. Now, by the way, Kate and I think Andrew as well, are all avid video gamers of a particular game, which I won't mention, and we're not playing now. But Kate is also very passionate about pipeline. I heard Glenn talk about our inner open source pipeline that we use here at Discover. All right, well, she can contribute code, methodologies, extensions to the pipeline back into the community. That then gets reviewed, discussed in the guild, brought forward. She could also perhaps want to share some of that knowledge with the world at technology.discover.com. And she might want to also perhaps share it with the rest of the world. So we've got like a mentorship program inside of Discover where folks who are kind of experienced and been in open source communities or doing meetups and conferences kind of pay it forward and bring people forward, right? And help them go into the communities and share as well. And we're doing this at scale. All 10,000 of those active users participate in this every single day. So when your employer says, wow, we got to become digital. We need to be customer-centric. We need to become product-centric. We need to be platform-centric. Tell them, I think open source can help. And it's not just the code. So I'd love to talk to you more about that as the week goes on. So let's do a quick pivot now and talk about technology, because I'm pretty proud of some work that we've been doing in open source recently. I love firsts. Does everybody remember the first computer you put your hands on? Yes? Yeah? For me, it was the Timex Sinclair. Now, I grew up in Puerto Rico. Oh, you remember that? Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone else, or am I the only one who knows? All right, there was two ways of getting the Timex Sinclair. You can pay $150 and you can get your Timex Sinclair. Or you can pay $99 and get a Heath kit and solder that thing together yourself. I chose the $99 one, and it took me quite a while to save that much money. About 1K of memory. It was fantastic. And we have come a long way, right, in this democratization of technology. Standards, standardized code, shared code. Oh, cloud native compute. I was talking to Jim when we launched the Cloud Native Computing Foundation way back when. You see where it is now. We are building on the shoulders of giants. And I've said this before. It is important that all of us, as we continue this democratization of technology, that we wield our power responsibly. With great power comes responsibility. Is that right? Fantastic. Well, let me talk about something that we've been doing and partnering with Finos and the Finos community. And it's all about reducing the time between a customer experience, a design system, and an actual implementation to seconds. Not days, not weeks, not months in some cases, right? In seconds. But doing it in a way that is accessible and inclusive by design. And this is an area that I'm so passionate for. I mean, not to date myself, maybe this one gentleman over here can vibe with me here, but I worked on the original W3C X-Forms specification, right? So that was a model view control decomposition in markup to define multimodal interfaces with accessibility in mind. Now, didn't quite take off, but we learned from that. And where we are now with technology, this is really becoming a reality. So in support of the Global Accessibility Awareness Day, which is May 18th, we've been running a hackathon. I think, and Gabby, I don't know if you're here, you can correct me, it's probably the largest Finos hackathon, over 200 people, 28 countries, okay? You still can get involved, and what's really cool about this, it is not just engineers. It's designers, it's end users, there's so many different kinds of folks participating in this hackathon. If you want to learn more about it, clearly you can go to Finos page and engage and learn more about it, or you can listen to Lisa. Yeah, I think Lisa's back there, who will be talking about the evolution of open source through design. And I also want to give a little shout out to my friend Sat, who's going to take some time talking about what we're doing around microservices and Kubernetes and building out that platform layer, because it's really nice to see like a little pea and little baby peas, and oh, look how beautiful it is. But we all know it's a lot more complicated than that. But there's some lessons that we've learned there and we love to share with you all, and as well learn from you all. So I'm going to leave you with 3 simple things. 1, we all know that open source is more than code. It is how we contribute and how we community. The how is so important. And those principles can really be applied in enterprises at scale. And we've been doing it for 2.5 years at Discover, and we are having a blast doing it. We're here, we're humble, We're trying to get more organized to share what we're doing with you all. So we look forward to learning with you all. And then third, let's get a little commitment that you're going to use your power responsibly and help build that next generation of open source technology. And I encourage you to check out the FinOS Global Accessibility Day Hackathon. All right? Have a great day and a great conference. I will see you all.
Thanks, Angel.